Hello everyone, and welcome to 4KB Shorts Let's Learn with Kerbal Space Program. And what will we be learning today, you might ask? Well, it's something very special. A gentleman on the forums by the name of Helldiver, 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 came up with the idea of what is referred to now as the mini shuttle, the KSP mini shuttle. And it was something that he came up with really early in 2012, and him and a couple other guys got together and they started working on it. He finished all the models and everything and got it working, and then there was a coding problem. And you know how it is. You get a lot of people together online, and eventually one of them kind of drops off the face of the earth. And so the shuttle just kind of sat and sat and sat and sat and sat. And then, you know, personal life and everything else. And then suddenly, da-da-da-da, it is February of 2014. And the greatest thing of all time has occurred. The release of the mini shuttle. Now, here it is. It's in parts, okay? It comes in parts, and they're really excellent parts. Now, as you can see on the side here, this is the Resolute, the USS Resolute, or the KSP Resolute, the KSC Resolute, whatever you want to call it. They actually come with multiple packs for names. They have textures that come with names, so you can have different names or no name. Totally up to you. Check the forum. The forum will be listed in the description below the video, as well as a link to the spaceport download. But what you can do is you can go ahead and put together the shuttle yourself, which I'll go ahead and run through you with it really quick, because it comes with some really awesome parts. So here we have the cockpit, of course, and then along with the cockpit we go through all the different parts and pieces. Now, of course, I do have all the stock pieces in here as well as some other mods, so there's a lot of extra garbage in here. But I did run this without, and so I do know what it looks like without, which is totally awesome. So, let's see if I can find all the parts and pieces. Let's go to Command and Control. So here we have the KSO Avionics. Now, I'm not going to read all these because they have really long text, but what this basically is the avionics package, or what used to be the avionics package, which is basically the SAS. That's what that is. You're looking at the SAS unit, which fits right there in the nose cone. Isn't that awesome? Totally awesome. Now we head to the structure. Now, the structure has exactly two parts, I believe. So we have this, which is as you can see, a cargo pod. Now that also makes up the main body of the shuttle. Now if you look right here, this one has a little bit of a problem. I'm not entirely sure what I'm missing or why, but if you look right here, this is not flush. It is not flush with the body of the ship, and I think I may be doing something wrong. Oh, there it is. That's why. Okay, so that's why it's not flush with the body of the ship. I'm doing something there it is. Okay, so yeah, you do have to be a little bit careful with that. That was all me. I kept trying to figure out why the pre-built model was flush while the model I was putting together was not, and it looks like it's because there's two nodes, and I was putting it on the wrong node. Alright, so there's your main body, and of course you have your cargo bay doors, which you can open. Inside the cargo bay doors, before we do too much else, we have ourselves a fun little toy somewhere around here. I know it's around here somewhere. Well, while we're here, we'll go ahead and use a couple other things. We have the KSO Radome, the radar dome, I suppose it is, and it fits right here on the nose cone. So there you go, one nose cone. Now it's starting to look like a shuttle, right? Absolutely starting to look like a shuttle. Along with that, let's go ahead and close these up so they're not in the way. Along with that, we have ourselves a vertical strut. Now this is the vertical strut that fits right here in the back. You can put one, you can put two, totally up to you which way you want to do it. I'll put one for the classic mode. You have two wings as well. Now you have the right wing and the left wing, and so the right wing goes here. Excuse me, the left wing goes here, now that I know which side of the plane I'm on. The left wing goes there, the right wing goes here. And then you have this little guy back here, which is the tail plane, which doesn't go on just yet because I'm missing something. Here's another part, the KSO engine mount. Now you put the engine mount on like so, and you can mount your engines. Now we do have to raise the shuttle up just a teeny tiny bit. So you take this little guy right here, and you put him right along here. It doesn't have to be exact, but it can be if you want it to be. So something like that. And bam. Now, while we're talking, I want to go ahead and tell you guys something about the music in the background. The music you are hearing is not standard KSP music, as I'm sure most of you are aware. Oh, we also have very special engines. These are very special engines. These are Thrust Max 200 engines. Check these out. They have very special places where they go. So you have 3 engines there. And then you have the OmniMax 40T engines, and there's 3 of those that go on here as well. So as I was saying, the music that you're hearing is not standard KSP music, as most of you know. It is, however, by the same artist. It is by Kevin MacLeod. He does the music for KSP. This music is a collection of his jazz music from Incompetech, Incompetech, Incompetech.com. Just look up Kevin MacLeod on Google and you'll find him. I wanted to throw out his name. The reason for that is because the version of KSP that I'm currently using does not have any background music, so I just loaded up Kevin's music and decided to play that. Alright, so some more parts we got to get here. Some more parts we got to do here, I believe. Now, a couple of parts that are really odd for me are like these winglets here, the elevons. Now, the elevons are supposed to go out on the edge like this, and like so. And then the other one, of course, is like so, and that one goes over here. Now, just so you guys know, this actually builds much better in the VAB than it does in the spaceplane hangar. I know a lot of people will be like, well, it's a winged plane, and it should be able to build it in the spaceplane hangar, right? No, if you try to build this in the spaceplane hangar, it actually has a lot of issues with symmetry. It is, in fact, supposed to be built right here in the VAB because it is a vertical lift shuttle, not a horizontal lift flyer. Also, if you try to build it and launch it from the VAB, or from the spaceplane hangar, what you end up with is a ship that falls over a lot. Alright, now as you can see, we do have 3 holes here, and I'm trying to find the exact place where the wheels are located. Again, I have a lot of mods in here, and because I have a lot of mods in here, it is... here they are. So I found the wheels. So we have 3 different wheels here. We have the left wheel, the right wheel, and the main wheel. So the left wheel is here. Now, you might get confused and say, well, how do we know which wheel goes where? Well, it's pretty easy. The designer, Helldiver, did a really good job at splitting these up and putting them in the right place. So there's a node for everything, and everything in its node. Look at that. Bam, bam, and bam, and then you right click and you can say raise gear, and then same here, raise gear, and then same here as raise gear. So now they're not in the way when you attach it to something and try to fly it into space. Now I'm not going to try to, now this is the shuttle, this is it. Oh wait, there was one other piece I wanted to show you which is not included, but is in here. It's the OA-D12 docking module, and so it says originally designed to allow Kerbals to easily transfer from one spacecraft segment to another. The role of the docking module eventually reverted to simply being that. A docking port featured an additional battery out of orbit's inventory surplus. So, has an extra battery for the shuttle, and you can just put it right there. And because it has a node on it, what I'm assuming it is for is you can attach a little you can attach anything to it. You can attach a battery to it. You can build a little satellite and attach that to it via a docking port. I'm assuming it's large enough at the end to fit a standard Clampetron Junior. And oh, it looks like they have. You'll understand what this little blue light here is. It's for a camera. That's actually a camera indicator that indicates where a camera is on the model. That may not make a lot of sense to a lot of people. You may be like, "What are you talking about, KB?" You'll understand once we get outside because there's still more stuff we gotta see. But yeah, I'm assuming that you can plug this on here. It's just being kind of silly for me, but. Yeah, you can. I'm sure you can. It's just like I said, it's just being kind of silly for me. So what we'd have to do is we'd have to take it off like so, plug it somewhere where it would not be in the way. So I guess we could like take it up here, just for a fit purposes. Put it right there, nice and ugly. Take that and then set it right there. It is, yeah. And if it doesn't crash, okay, there it goes. Yeah, it had a little bit of an error, a little bit of an issue there. It's like I don't understand what's going on. So yeah, you can have your little docking port there, and then you put that right there. And now you can put like a little whatever you want. Anything you want, you can put it right there. You can put a fuel tank, you can put a little satellite system, anything you want, and then you go ahead and close it up. And there you go. Now, this does come with its own launch platform, but I'm not going to put it together. I am going to load the prefab version and take it outside, and then I'll see you guys outside on the launch pad so we can take a look at the pre-built launch platform. So I will see you guys there. Alright everybody, here we are out on the launch pad. Now let's go ahead and drop this down. As you can see, this design is very similar to the classic shuttle design, which of course has the big orange tank on there and then the 2 SRBs. Now, just so you know, these are not in fact SRBs. They are actual thruster rockets. If you take a look, it has liquid fuel and oxidizer in them. But these little guys right here, these little custom clamps, do not transfer fuel. So they work like SRBs, but they do not run like SRBs. And I think that's so that you can the throttle control can be used in order to fly the shuttle better. Because even though you have these thrust vectoring engines down here, it can still be a bit of a problem if you try to have SRBs at full power pushing up and then the thrusters pushing up and so on and so forth. So these don't draw energy or fuel from the center tank at all, but they are not SRBs, they are run. And then of course you have some stock parts which include the straps, because without those these wobble, and then you have the Sepatron SRBs in order to push them out when you separate, which is great. So this is what it looks like when it launches. Now there's 2 ways you can launch this. There are actually 2 ship designs that come with the pack. This is the first one, which is the classic style, And then there's one where there's an extra little clamp on here that goes down here that is a shroud. And then you can set that on top of an orange tank so you get an inline thruster. And then if you wanted to, you could put like for long range ships, you could put a clampatron at the base of that, and then you can just clamp it to whatever you're going to and then strut it up. And then that way you can then take this to another planet using a docked extra ship or something. So you don't have to just go into orbit and be done. It doesn't have to be just an orbiter. You can in fact go to other planets using a connection and then land on that other planet and then have your shuttle there as well. And you know, it's really up to you which way you want to go with that. Now, I will tell you that the shuttle does not come stock with any power parts, no electrical parts, no things like that. So once you get up there, you will start losing electricity. So you're going to have to put an RTG or a solar panel or something on it somewhere in order to maintain power. That is sort of one of those things that you are going to have to put on there. But the engines do generate power on the way up, so there's that. Now, it does have internals, okay? It does have internals, but before we do the internals, let's go ahead and do this. If we turn on our cabin lights, we get fun little cabin lights. A la B9 pack. Now, we're going to go inside. And we're going to check out the inside. So let's get C. And it looks like we're zoomed in. Oh, okay. It just took a little bit to zoom out. So here is something really special. These MFDs, multifunction displays, are part of the raster prop. That's R-A-S-T-E-R-P-R-O-P. Raster prop pack. And what the raster prop pack allows you to do is it adds functionality to the inside of the cockpit, including, you know, you hit your flight, you hit your attitude adjustment, which is the same thing that's up here. You go flight, and then you can go orbital, which will tell you your orbital data. You hit flight, and takeoff assistant, landing assistant, PFD, which is your nav ball. It's a digital nav ball. Same thing is displayed over here. And this raster prop mod is separate from the mini shuttle, but is included. All the mods that the shuttle mod uses are included with the mod. So if you don't already have this, you don't have to go hunt for it. You can just install it, and it works just fine. And you're gonna have to learn how to use it, of course. Now, if I remember correctly, remember that little cone, that blue cone that we saw that showed the docking cam? If we click docking cam, it looks like it's not gonna work. Maybe it's camera 1. Alright, so there's camera 1. So if we zoom in on that, we have camera 1, which is like a nose cam. So that's automatic. I guess that's just part of the shuttle. Camera 2 is another nose cam for watching the SRB separate. Camera 3 would be straight down the back. Okay, now there's camera 4. Camera 4 is a cabin, I guess, camera. So if you wanted to, you could actually open up. You can't open it from inside here because, of course, we can't click on it. But if you had it attached to, say, an action group, and you opened it, they would automatically update. It would actually update. You can watch the doors open. Camera 5, of course, is on the big tank. 6 is there. 7, no signal. 8, 9, and 0, no signal. I think 0 would actually have a signal if we targeted another docking node, I think. Or if we went into docking mode. I'm not sure if going into docking mode does it. No, okay. So docking cam is one that I've never really learned how to do. But basically you can fly the ship using all these MFDs. You can fly the ship from inside, and then you have the external cameras if you want them, which is, it's totally awesome that you have that. You have that ability. So we're going to go ahead and just say flight, and we're just going to go take off. Now we're not going to actually take off. We are going to look around some more. So we have our 2 front cockpits here, and we switch views, and of course we have this view over here. And then if we continue to switch views, we have 2 guys here in the back. And I think there's a door. Yes, there's a door on each side. Now, I'm not going to do it because there's a little bit of a problem with the ladder, where if you exit a Kerbal, he won't grab hold of the door. But if you double click on a door handle, and this is part of the raster prop mod as well, if you double click on a door handle, it will take you out. It will take you out of the ship, which is really sweet that it'll let you do that. If we continue going, we go 1 more Kerbal, and then there's 2 more Kerbals in the back, and these 2 Kerbals are in the crew cabin is basically where they're at. So there's 2 Kerbals back here. We have food stowage, and that's actually not spelled incorrectly. Stowage is a real word. Food packets, food trays, fresh food, rehydratables. I don't think you'd want to put 2 Kerbals so close to the food bins. But then there's some sleeping quarters over here, no step, lots of Velcro ties. I don't know if you guys know what these are. These are Velcro straps that you'd find in a shuttle or in a space station, where everything has Velcro on it, and you just attach it. You attach it to each of these things. So that's actually what those little gray dots are little Velcro straps. So they're not really important, but it's nice that they kind of added them in there. Now, one of the things with the raster prop mod is you can double click things and they work. So if we double click here, we now get a camera, and this camera is just basically a camera that shows the cabin. So you can fly the ship from here if you really wanted to. I don't know if you can zoom in. So if you could like zoom in on those center consoles, you could absolutely fly the ship from here if you really wanted to. But we can go ahead and switch our view again. Let's see, camera, and then view. All right, now each of these have buttons as well. Some of these do like, yeah, so there's a cabin light switch. So that's actually a switch that does cabin lights. There's another one over here that does something, and I don't know which one it is or what it does. I'm probably flipping things that I shouldn't be. Yeah, but each button, I don't say that each and every button in here does something. They don't. But if you go to the forum post, there is actually a listing of what each and every button that does work does do, and like what each one of these mean. You have your altitude, vertical speed, radar altitude here, and an actual altitude, and then a nav ball if you need it, that kind of thing. And so it's really, really interesting how it works like that. Now, so that's the internals, and again, all the parts that you need, all the mods that you need, all the things that make the shuttle work do in fact come with the shuttle download, which is really, 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 really nice. So let's go ahead and hit our camera. Now, we may wreck, we may crash. I've only done this once, but we're going to go ahead and give this a shot. So we're going to hit T really quick, just so our SAS module works for us, and then we throttle up. And the way this works is you throttle up, and when you this staging came with the shuttle, and it works. So we're going to throttle up, and we're going to launch. And we throttle up, I guess, to full, and then we launch our actual thrust. There it goes. Okay, so yeah, as you can see, the gimbaled engines for the shuttle automatically work, and they point out in the direction that they need to go in order to keep the ship straight, because that's how the SAS unit works. I will also tell you, as we're flying up, that this connector right here is not random. There's actually a hard point connection on the bottom of the shuttle specifically designed for this module so that it will always be put in the exact right place. You never have to worry about it not being put in the exact right place, which is really, 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 really nice. I don't think it's the same. It is actually not the same for these. For these, you have to put the clamps on, and then you have to put these on the clamps, and there's no way around that. But they're pretty easy to get settled. They're pretty easy to get set in. So as you can see, we're just flying up really quick into the wild blue. And again, these outer engines do not pull fuel from the center tank. The center tank is for the shuttle engines only. But we are going up, 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 up. Now, this is just a standard launch. There's really nothing special about it. We are going to go to 9,000 meters and then tilt backwards. There we go. We'll just tilt backwards. As you can see, it's a very, very, very maneuverable ship. Just a couple of little taps and we were able to thrust. Now, that's because we are using gimbaled engines. The SAS unit actually does not have enough power. And that's really dangerous, but it doesn't hit, so I'm okay with it. So as you can see, now that we've lost those two main gimbaled engines, it's a little bit harder to move the ship, but we can keep it running pretty good. Now, what's really interesting about this is because I don't have any other mods, well, I don't have any other mods attached to the ship. I don't have MechJeb or anything like that attached to the ship. I can't see where our apoapsis is, so we're going to actually go back inside. And if we take a look here at our launch information, our takeoff assistant, our apoapsis is at 32.7.8.9, and then our gimbal. So we can actually use this to tell us where we will be going in space. We will be going up. Yeah, so this works, basically it's a complete replacement for things like MechJeb and things like that. Although it does have MechJeb integration if you're using MechJeb. It allows for it allows you to select celestial bodies, to point at them, to point at your ascending, or not ascending and descending node, but your forward prograde and your retrograde axis. As you can see, also when you tilt back, your your flight stick actually does its thing. Alright, so our altitude is now at 51 kilometers. Now that's not our actual altitude. Our actual altitude is at 41, but I'm watching this. Now, I'm going to wait until this gets to about 70, and then from there I'm just going to go ahead and go back outside because, well, if we take... Oop, I just shut off our engines. Let's go ahead and not do that. That was the wrong button. I just shut off our engines. If we take a look at this tank, as you can see, we are burning out of the fuel of it. And if we... Since it's not considered a stage by itself, that's just a fuel tank, we have to dump that fuel tank separately. So for whatever reason, we fly too high and we don't get rid of that tank when we should, we end up with a really big problem. So we're going to go up to 72, 73, 74, 75, and I think we'll do 80. 80 will be a nice number, so let's go ahead and just stop at 80. And again, that was the wrong button. My hand's just at the wrong place on the keyboard. So as you can see, we're now at 787 by 963. We can get that data from here if we wanted to. We could go to our third MFD and say info, and then we can say altitude info resources. That's RES, and that gives you our fuel, our fuel, our oxidizer, and our monopropellant, and then our battery as well. So yeah, you can have your stuff there. Alright, altitude's now at 70. We're going to quick save just in case something goes horribly wrong. I don't think it will, but just in case something goes horribly wrong. And again, as I said, the SAS unit, not super powerful. As you can see, we are trying to turn. You can see the flaps trying to turn, and nothing is happening. The ship is just like, nope, not turning. Not going to turn. But we can kind of flap our way towards a very gentle turn with the ship. And I think we went up to 80. Yeah, we went up to 80. So we should be able to come in contact with our periapsis here pretty quick. And let's just go ahead and there we go. We're going to go ahead and throttle up. Whoop. And again, the SAS unit works really, really well once your gimbaled engines are online. Once those gimbaled engines are active, the thing flies like a boss. But before that, it's a little bit wobbly. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and fly a little bit. Looks like our periapsis is a little bit higher than I thought. We're going to start waiting for this to come back down, I think. Yeah, we went up a little bit high, I think. Okay, so we're going to speed up time just because we're up here and we can. Whoop, there we go. That's our apoapsis right there. So let's go ahead and throttle up again. So we're going to throttle up and we're going to watch this tank. We're going to wait for it to empty. And this is not something you can do inside, unfortunately, because this is not considered a stage with fuel in it. It, strangely enough, is considered part of the shuttle. So it won't, you can't watch your fuel lines and say, okay, that tank's empty, let's dump it. And your staging info won't give you that information either. So this is something you do have to do visually because of the way that that raster prop, as well as the way that the shuttle mod itself works. And it's not a problem with the shuttle, of course. If you're going to fly from inside the ship, it's really awesome and you can, but it's not a requirement. Alright, so let's go ahead and we're going to cut off our engines before, so we're just going to go ahead and shut those off. Now, we're going to detach. Now, as you can see, the detachment didn't really do much, so we're going to turn on our RCS, turn on our docking mode, and then we're going to go in that way. So yeah, as you can see, a little thrust. Just like that. And then we'll come back out of docking mode, RCF off, SAS on, and then we're going to throttle up. Whoop, 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 whoop. Bad things, bad things. our SAS module was not on. That was my bad. That was my bad. So we just lost one of our tail fins there. But it looks like all of our engines are intact, so oops, my bad. Let's go ahead and throttle up since we will still be going down. Yeah, you can do bad things like that. So that was the first time I ever tried that. The last time I flew, I actually, yeah, it looks like the ship does not want to fly exactly right now. She's having a little bit of trouble flying correctly now. Probably because I damaged her. I damaged the shuttle. But she's still alive. She's still good to go. At this point, I wouldn't suggest trying to land, though. But she does land. I did land her once before. And she does land really well. I think I may try to land her, but probably not on this run. Alright, so there we go. Let's go ahead and shut down. That should be at roughly where we want to be. Let's go ahead and take a look at our info and orbit. Info, no, sorry, flight orbit. Orbit. So our orbit's currently at 176 by 37 kilometers. That's not good. That's not good. It looks like we may actually have a problem here. Oopsie. Okay, we're going to use our thrusters to push us in the direction that we want to go, and then we want to move up this way. Yeah, so it looks like I did a little bit of damage to the ship with that little bump. But hey, at least you know it's not realistic, or it is realistic, at least in the fact that you can really heavily damage the ship if you're not careful. Yeah, so it looks like I did something very bad here, but that's okay. That's okay. So not 100% perfect. I kind of borked that flight really bad. I think what we'll go ahead and do is I will reload. Since I did quick save up in space, I will reload. And then I'm going to go ahead and get it up here in orbit nice and gentle-like. But while we're up here, we seem to be going... Yeah, we're going back up. So while we're up here, we can go ahead and show off a little bit. So let's go ahead and open up the cargo bay. And of course, if you have like a little ship in here or something, you know, you have that as an option. You can eject that. And I guess if we go inside and we take a look at our camera, again, I think it's camera 3. Yeah, so there's camera 3 that shows the outside of the bay, and camera 4 which shows the inside of the bay. And again, if you were to open the cabin from in here, you could see that. That'd be totally awesome. You can also EVA Kerbals from, I believe it's here, is the crew hatch? Stop that. The crew hatch is in a weird place, I think. It's on one side or the other. Yeah, the crew hatch is over here, but strangely enough, your Kerbals will actually exit over here. I don't know why that is. It's just part of the mod. If you EVA a Kerbal, he'll EVA on this side, and it's just the way the mod is. So we'll EVA Jebediah, and yeah, he'll EVA on this side. Okay. Oh no, I know why. When I EVA'd the last time, I had the shuttle upside down, so that's why he didn't EVA on the proper side. Because yeah, so he EVAs on the correct side. That was my bad. I had the shuttle upside down the last time I tried that, so I had thought he'd EVA'd on the wrong side. So there it is. There is one fully functional mini Kerbal shuttle by Helldiver. Totally awesome. It's got the RCS on it. It's got the raster prop mod installed. It has landing gear. Oh, and something super awesome. And again, because I damaged the shuttle, we can't get back down safely. But if you take a look here under resources, it has... I know it's here somewhere. Oh, no. Okay, let's go ahead and get back in the shuttle. Yeah. Jebediah doesn't have the resource we're looking for. Exactly. Let's go ahead and board. Alright, it's going to take a second. Now we'll take a look. So if you take a look, it has ablative shielding. It has 2,000 units of ablative shielding. And the reason for that is because this works with the deadly reentry mod. And it works really well. The shuttle comes in really well, and it lands really well. I landed it in the green area, the grasslands. I didn't land on the landing pad. It did bounce when it hit, and it hit at about 60 meters per second, but it did bounce. But it landed perfectly fine. It actually landed really, 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 really well. And so because of that, it works not only with the deadly reentry mod, but as you can see, it also works with the TAC life support mod, because it does have TAC life support installed. But those two mods do not come with the shuttle. Those two mods are mods that I already had installed. The only ones that come with the shuttle that you have to worry about are the MechJeb integration, which it has, the raster prop cockpit mod, which of course shows you the internals of the cockpit, the camera mod, of course, which shows you the cameras, and there's a couple other mods for flight and everything else, but it doesn't. You're not required to fly this like super hard mode. It's just, it adds fun little functional displays and things like that. You can use it in stock just as it is, with those mods or without. Totally up to you. But I'd suggest using them with. It makes it so much cooler. But for now, again, that is the shuttle mod, the mini shuttle mod by Helldiver. And so you guys should go to the forum and you should thank him. You should say, thank you, Helldiver, for putting a year's worth of work and time and awesome effort into this shuttle. Totally awesome shuttle. Works every time, provided your pilot's not an idiot. Has ablative coating, has TAC life support integration, has raster prop integration, has all that stuff. Comes with all the mods that you need, all packaged together so that you can just install it, bam, done, fly, and you're good to go. Even comes with pre-built stock ship models. Two different types, the inline for top to bottom, and the one that we just launched, which is the classic mode. And if it's, what, 4, 5, 6, 2, 4, 6, 6 Kerbals in it, totally awesome. Totally awesome. So yeah, absolutely. And again, I would like to thank you all very, 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 very much for joining me, 4 Kilobyte Short, on this Let's Learn with the Kerbal Mini Shuttle by Helldiver. And I will see you guys next video.